Welcome to the instructional handover video for the Swift Rio 320. This is a 2018 model. It's based on a Fiat cab on a 2.3 130. It's got your manually folding mirrors which are electrically operated. Just behind that we've got your filler cap here for the freshwater, and it has a separate 12 volt pumping unit at the side of it, so should you want to have a water carrier you can connect it through that little cap there and pump water into your freshwater tank. So you use the key to remove it, pull it out and just fill it up with a hose pipe. Underneath is the drain point, so that's where the freshwater drain will drain, and this is a drain point that can be done from inside the vehicle, so I'll show you when we get inside. But that's the drain point. Behind that we have a gas locker area, so press the two buttons in, and we have a mounted regulator. You will need a pigtail to connect through to your gas bottles, and this one will take two 6 kilogram bottles in that compartment there. It's one key that locks all the external lockers, and behind that we have your toilet cassette, which we lift up the handle. When the blade valve is closed, we slide it out, unscrew the cap, press the little orange button down to stop the vacuum, empty it, clean it, and then revert it back in, making sure it just clips over there, and we close and lock the toilet compartment. Behind that we have your mains plug-in point, and there is an aerial point to connect to a main site should you want to do that already fitted in. At the bottom of the vehicle we've got a little thing here to say that you can tether off your bikes to it if you want to do, so it's just there. And we've got your flue for your Truma heating. The back of the vehicle, we've got some sensors fitted to the vehicle, and it does have a back step area that opens by just pressing the button there, and that opens up the rear step area to give you that helping hand to get up there should you want to do that. While we're at the back, we've got the lashing points, which you can see just are fitted underneath the couch, which help you tether anything to it, and once it's open it will act as a bit of a cover in the sun. You've got a blind and a flash screen, which I'll show you. Comes inside. To close it, just pull the handle down and then just close it too, just like that. On the passenger side we've got a Fiamma awning. I'll send you a separate link for that of how to use it. Your fridge vents, which you can buy winter covers should you wish, and below that we have got the drain point for the wastewater, and again I'll show you how that operates once we get inside the van. Just behind the passenger door we've got your diesel filler point, and then just inside here we have your bonnet release catch. Under this little panel here is where your engine battery is located, toolkit is located just in there, and your battery, leisure battery, is located just underneath there. So let's move inside and we can go through the fittings just in there. So both the front two seats swivel around, and you can slide them backwards and forward by lifting up the bar just there. To slide it all the way around and move it from the forward facing locking position, you have this little lever here. Now if you pull it back you'll see that it releases, and that will allow you to pull it back to slide it round. On the outside of the seats you've got the adjusters to adjust the front and back positions, and then the seat back positions just there. On the driver's side you will need to make sure that you just make the clearance away from the actual handbrake just there. We have a reversing camera fitted, a passenger airbag, glove box, drinks holders, manual air conditioning, and on the actual cab itself we've got cruise control and speed limiter on this side, lights and indicators just on this side. We've got your screen wash on the right hand side, and on the end of it we always have the little trip counter. We've got your window, electric window switches, your lock button, and your mirror option just there for your side mirrors. The cab is also fitted with the Remis cab blinds, and these literally just pinch together and pull along. and the same on both the driver's side and on the front one. The front one will go around the camera, so you don't need to remove that. The main controls of the system can be found above the actual habitation door. Now, starting from the main control panel, you'll want to put the power on, and you do it by just pressing that standby button there. Then you have varying light options, which turn on the lights around the vehicle. Just there. So they're the 1, 2, 3, top 3. The bottom one is the water pump, and you turn it on, that will give you your water pump on or water pump off. You can also see above here, there's a little indicator that tells us that we're plugged into the mains electric, and on either side of the control panel, you've got a freshwater and a wastewater level, which will go up along the sides to tell you what is in that compartment. To navigate the control panel, you'll need to use the up and down buttons, and this will run you through the options that you have within the actual range. So depending on what you want to change and select, you can then go in, select it, then by just pressing the arrow button in, and that will take you into the options to change the options within that interior option. So say on that one, your dimmer level, you can then press your hour in, and that will give you then up and down on your actual settings. So this is your main control panel, which will take you through all your systems and navigate you through. So that's by using the up and down button and the arrow button just in there to take you through to your options. That controls most of the actual functions on the vehicle. To the right hand side of that, we've got your electronic waste and your electronic freshwater and wastewater together. So what you'll do is when you're wanting to close the valves, you'll press them up, and you'll hear a motor closing them. When you want to open it, press the button down, and that will open it again. So pretty straightforward and self-explanatory which one is which. To the side of it, you've got a little light switch, and that turns on this little light switch above here. To the left-hand side of it, we've got your heater controls. So if we press the button, it will then start up the heating. I'll just start it off from the blank screen. So press and hold it will turn off the screen. Once it turns off, you can then press it, and it will then relight up and give you your options that you want to choose. So with a few different options on here, let me get it just focused in a bit better. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this little dial here, and that will navigate us around the options that are available. So the first option being the motorhome and the temperature within it. So we turn the dial round to the desired temperature and press the button on. The next option I always go to then is the fuel. So I've not got any gas fitted to it at the moment, so I'll select electric. What we always advise you to do on this scenario is turn on the gas and the electric if you've got that option before you do anything else on the vehicle. It will stop any options of fault codes appearing once the heating's trying to get going. So let's select EL1 or EL2, and that will give us the electric option for this particular function. So at the minute, to recap, we've got the fuel source or the temperature that you want it in the vehicle. So 28 degrees. I've not got any water, but if you wanted water, then you could turn it on to either Eco, which is a 40-degree setting, Hot, which is a 60-degree setting, or Boost, which takes all the power away from the heating to get the hot water up to temperature as quick as possible. Now, like I say, I've no water at the moment, so I'm going to leave that turned off, and it is safe for you to do this. The next option then is the fuel source. So EL2 being 2 kilowatt electric, EL1 being 1 kilowatt electric, mix is gas and 2 kilowatt electric, gas and 1 kilowatt electric is mix 1, and then you finally have the gas option only if you're not hooked up to mains. So again, I'm going to select EL2. The next function along then, and this is the final main option, is your fan speed. So how quickly you want it to get up to temperature. And we've got eco, which is slowly, high, which is fast, or then boost, which will take the power away from the hot water to get the temperature within the vehicle up to temperature as quick as possible. So in this case, I want to select the boost because I want it to get up to temperature as quick as possible, and I'm not worried about the water heater. They're the main fundamentals of your control panel. The other options within the front screen here, we have got on this side your clock and your timer. So just there, and then your main settings button. If you need to go in to reset anything, you can then scroll along just by turning it round till it flashes. Press the button, and then your reset is towards the right hand side. It will come up with a reset button if you need to do that. Now if you get a fault code on this system, it will tell you what the fault code is. Revert to your handbook, and that will help you work out what is the problem. Once you've finished doing whatever you want to do and you're leaving, turn off the power to the control panel completely separate of the main control panel, and then turn off your gas and electric. Yeah. It does stay on if you don't turn it off, so it is important that you turn it off. The little black circle at the side is your thermostat for the heater, so that's where it will need to get up to temperature before it sits down. Now to the side of it, we've got your carbon monoxide detector and your smoke alarm, and to the right hand side of the door we have got the awning pole. So on the door itself, we've got a door bin, we've got a blind, and we've also got a fly screen which is integrated into there that slides across. We have a big opening window, so this is a winding window. So what you've got to do is release the catches on both sides, just there, and then wind up the window, and that will operate. We have a fly screen and a blind on there for keeping out the flies and keeping out the lights in an evening. Moving around the vehicle then, we have got above storage areas, and these open by pressing the little button down, which then depresses the little button in there. Make sure that they're all clicked in place, and they will securely stay in process for you moving along. We've got storage there, we've got a couple of extra sockets, mains, 12 volt and aerial sockets. Below that we have got another storage area and a little pitch reserve marker. Underneath this panel here, which lifts up, you have access to your wastewater. So that's where, if you need to find it, it's located underneath that panel there. And we also have the marking in the floor for your fitting of the table, which is stored in the rear, which just goes into there. Simply can't fit in any other way. It just slots in, and then the top of the table goes in. Cooker wise, we've got an additional chopping board area here, and then put it down, it just simply just slots up in place just up there. Yeah, and then to release it, releases down just there, nicely in place. We've got a couple of switches which just light up the ambient lighting across the top and the main lighting in the rear area. In here we have got the small table which goes into this front section here. We've got the main table, which is this one here. We've got your carpets and your pack. The carpets will be down when you collect it. And we've got your booster box for the aerial, which is just located just here. You release the toggle and then push that up to get a better signal. There is an on-off button for the aerial, which is just located just on the top here. So if you do want to turn it off, remember to turn it back on when you then want to watch TV again, should you wish to do that. It does close right hand first, and then it just has a press button to secure that in place. Cooking wise, we've got 3 gas burners and an electric hob. The electric one, quite obviously, is just that one there, and it is clearly marked on the front of the unit. So the markings are all clearly marked whichever way you want to do it. And we have a little igniter that's just at the top here, and a little light button which just turns on the little light for the cooker underneath just there to check what's in the oven and the grill. So oven at this side, grill at this side. Pretty straightforward, quite domesticated in its use. But underneath that, you've also got another storage area, which is just pushed in when you're travelling around. All the push fittings are the same, and again located just into this cupboard here, you have your little drainer, chopping board, and we have your gas isolation valves, which are just, as you see there, all in the upright position and all left in a full working order for you. So take note of that when you go to use it. We've got your grill pan handle there and another storage area, sink plugs, and on the top of the taps themselves it is clearly marked which way is hot and cold. Now once you've filled up your fresh water and you've checked on your control panel, what we suggest you do then is come to your boiler. Your boiler is located underneath this seat here, and I'll lift it up to show you where it clearly is. So your boiler is located in this back proportion here. One other thing you must remember to do is there is a little yellow toggle valve at the bottom here. So in the upright position as it is now, it would drain straight out of your boiler and onto the floor. Push it down either that way or towards the rear of the vehicle, and that will allow the boiler to fill up with water and allow you then to go to your control panel for your heating and heat up the hot water to the desired temperature you want it. So remember that when you're draining it down after use and filling it up, that is what you'll need to just flick in place to do so. We have your pump and filter just located there, your main charger unit just here, and then we have the main sergeant unit, which is just located there. So to the left hand side we've got all the fuses. To the right hand side here we've got all your main breaker switches. This is your test button to see if you're getting power to the vehicle. And we also have a button for reverse polarity, as it marked on the top, and a button for your charging and your hot water. If you're not using them, then you can turn them off, but make sure you turn it back on when you come to want to use the vehicle again. We've also got a main system shutdown, and we also use this as a reset button. So if you haven't used the vehicle for a number of weeks and you're not getting power to the main control panel, just come and flick that button off and flick that button on. The fuses in this compartment are all listed nice and easily just on a sticker just next to the sergeant unit. So that's what you'll need to know about your electrics and where your water is. Once you've filled up the water in the boiler, then you can come back to the taps. You'll turn it until the cold position. Yep. Lift up your tap, turn on your pump and run the water through so you get a steady flow of water. Once you have, turn it off and then select the controllers on your control panel, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Above that we've got your microwave. This only does work on mains electric, so please be aware of that. We've got some winter covers and we've got the solar panel regulator just up there, which comes as standard with this vehicle. In this side we've got your plate holders and your cup holders, a couple more switches and sockets just located there, and then your blinds and fly screens. So fly screens down, blinds are up, are all the same on all the rear of the vehicle, and we've got push buttons to lift and open up the window just in place to where you want it. Just got to be gentle, and then all the way out to come all the way in to close it. So make sure if you're parking next to a tight wall that you've got enough room to do that when you're opening and closing them windows. The spotlights simply turn off just underneath there, and above we've got nice adequate storage all the way around, little pockets either side, and then again on the driver's side lots of overhead storage for your belongings. We have, as you probably saw, got a little bit of storage in the middle compartment. Just make sure that you're careful of not damaging your heater pipes, and they're the little concertina pipes just there. And then on the other side we have the full length storage all the way along the compartment there. So these just slide down, so gently helping them, And again, these slide down and extend then to make the bed, which I'll come on to in a minute for you. So making up the bed, always remove the cushions. I find it easy to do that. And then we'll do it step by step. So first of all, remove the cushions, slide out the base. So first out, slide out the base so that they meet in the middle. Then you want to put the base cushions down. Now some people like to turn them around, or some people will just lay them down as they are. So just laying them down just like that. And then the two backs either side want to then come into the middle area, side by side, to make up the first option. Just like that, where you can sleep across the vehicle. The other option is obviously you can sleep as a long single bed option, where you won't need to do that. But that's your option if you want to sleep across the vehicle rather than as two singles. The two single options, I'll just show you now, would just be just like that, with the backs removed, for your single bed options. Back in the kitchen area, I missed it before, but you've got your fridge. So we want to turn the unit on by pressing the power button. And these Dometic units brightly light up, so you'll know that they are turned on. We then have four options. We have the gas option, which you'll hear is clicking away. We've got a battery option. This will only work when the engine is running. So it will not work when you're plugged into mains and the engine is off. The next option is manually selecting your electric. So that's the two prongs. Or if you look at the automatic function, when I press it at the minute, it automatically moves over to the electric because I'm plugged in, and will seek the strongest source. This button at the side will change the temperature from the warmest to the coldest. And the last button, the exclamation mark in the triangle, is your gas reset button. Should you lock the vehicle or the fridge out with any gas faults, you'll need to press that to reset the system. When turning off the unit, you'll need to press and hold it, and you'll see the light goes off there. And you can also see that you have got a freezer and a fridge compartment just there. Towards the rear, we've got your TV bracket and some 12 volt mains and 12 aerial point connections just underneath. We've got a integrated shower unit, so the actual tap for the sink will double up as your shower, which just plugs onto there. You've got your light switch, which can just be found up there, and then an opening vent, which will allow you to ventilate the bathroom area once using it. Towel rail holder, your mesh, which will come across to protect the door, and your flush button and your indicator here that tells you when the toilet is full. I mentioned at the beginning of the video, on the toilet set, you have a little blade valve here, which once you push it forward will close it and backwards will open it. It needs to be in that position forward to allow you to pull the toilet cassette out. If it is back there, it will not allow you to pull the toilet cassette out of the actual motorhome itself. On the roof sections, you have two Hecky roof lights which have blinds and fly screens fitted to them. To open them, you press the little button in and pull it down. That allows you to open it, but please make sure that you do close that on moving away, and the same on the slightly larger rear located one. The back window also has a blind and a fly screen, and you can see in an evening it would be very easy to black out the vehicle by shutting the relevant blinds. That concludes the instructional video for the Swift Rio 320. I hope you enjoy it. We look forward to your comments, but more importantly, we look forward to you enjoying your new motorhome. Thank you.